All right, so in this example, we get a couple more integrals to try to solve. Now, these don't initially look like something that you know how to solve, but if you rewrite the integrand, you'll see that it's not so hard. So I kind of put these types of integrals in the category of algebraic rewrite. Algebraic rewrite. Right, so we take it and we manipulate it algebraically, and we end up with something that that's more manageable. So on this first one, I'm just gonna it's x cubed times this whole quantity x plus 1 squared. All right, and I don't have any rules right now to deal with that directly, but I can actually rewrite this as the integral. I'm just going to leave the x cubed for now out front, and I can square this x plus 1. So I'll end up with x squared plus 2x plus 1 dx. And then I can distribute the x cubed, right? So I have the integral of x to the 5th plus 2x to the 4th plus x cubed, right? And dx. Now you can see we just need to apply that reverse power rule. All right, so we're going to end up with x to the 6th over 6 plus 2x to the 5th over 5 plus x to the 4th over 4 and plus c. Don't forget the plus c. All right, this is another one that looks really not very nice. But you can think of this x, the square root of x in the denominator, as being x to the 1/2. And then when we divide, I can actually, I'll just rewrite this as, I can write this as x squared over the square root of x minus 3 over the square root of x, right? dx. And then I have x to some power over x to some power, because I could write the square root of x as x to the 1/2. So I end up with x squared minus, I can subtract, let me say that again. So I have x squared over the square root of x, so I can subtract the powers, right? So I end up with x to the 2 minus 1/2, which is 4 halves minus 1/2, which is 3 halves. Okay, and then this one becomes 3x to the minus 1/2. All right, dx. So, and then this 2 minus 1/2 is 3 halves. Instead of rewriting that, I'm just going to erase it and make it x to the 3 halves. Okay, and then what I'll end up with is, so this is going to be, I'm going to add 1 to 3 halves, which is 2 halves plus 3 halves, which is 5 halves. And then that's over 5 halves. But rather than having fractions within fractions, I'm just going to write the reciprocal of 5 halves, which is 2/5. Okay, and then I'm just going to have the 3 hanging out here, and I want to add 1 to the power on x, so I get x to the 1/2 over 1/2, which 1 over 1/2, the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2, so then I have to multiply this times 2, and then plus c. Okay, so that I can rewrite that. Whoops, that's not 3. Okay, so I can write this as 2/5 x to the 5 halves, and then I'll have minus 6x to the 1/2 plus c. All right, so that takes care of that technique, just rewriting things algebraically to make it into a more manageable form.